And I think you have to have the work ethic, because otherwise you could have one hit and disappear. And Gaga is not going to disappear.
I really, really love what I do. I genuinely, I live and breathe and love music and my art, and I'm a very passionate person. And I guess when you feel as though you would be empty without your work, you don't mind the hustle, and you don't mind stopping.
Gaga's work ethic can be traced back to her Italian parents, Joseph and Cynthia, both of whom still play a big part in her life.
Lady Gaga is very close to her mom, who accompanied her on her most recent tour. Her mom is said to be the reason that Gaga actually got through the tour, because she made sure she got to bed every night on time. There were no drugs close to her daughter, and she ate enough.
She actually brought her mum to sit in the audience of The View, where Barbara Walters was hosting. I think her mum sometimes does worry about the respectability of certain things that Gaga does, the blood at the concerts and all of that sort of thing. But you could tell when she was watching Gaga, sitting down with Barbara Walters on The View, you could just see the pride, because it's almost like that's acceptance into the mainstream.
Gaga's latest album, Born This Way, released in May 2011, achieved the #1 chart spot in countries worldwide and was the fastest-selling single in the history of iTunes, shifting 1 million copies in 5 days.
This album is my baby. I spent over a year and a half, almost 2 years writing it, and I wrote it while on tour, on the Monster Ball tour. So I was inspired by each and every city that I went to and the fans from each and every city. The album is about being yourself and loving who you are and being proud, and that in life you can be reborn over and over again until you find that part of you that represents you the best.
She actually came into Capital Radio in London a couple of weeks back, and she was very normal. She didn't have a meat dress on, she didn't have a bizarre hat on. She was just dressed in a very long skirt, a top, a jacket. She had a little black veil over her head, but nothing out of this world, nothing completely random and out there. It was quite funny though. She was stood in our office, and we've got TVs in our office, and on came the video to Born This Way, and instantly she spotted it, and she was just standing there in the middle of our office dancing to Born This Way, and she said, "It's the first time I've seen it." And that's the reason she was dancing. It was brilliant.
Meeting Gaga was strange, I have to say, because I don't necessarily think she's in character, but I think she's always has that weird sort of calm and serenity around her, when actually her life is completely and utterly manic. And what's happening in her mind, you imagine, is completely and utterly manic as well. The thing about her is that she's very, very forceful. If she says something, it goes. People listen to her, but she's actually very softly spoken.
I love you so much. It's been a real joy getting to know my fans in Germany, and it's always been a dream of mine to have success here, as the music here in Germany and the club culture has inspired so much of my music on the Fame Monster. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I remember last year I saw one of my favorite bands, Metallica, play in this arena. And I had lots to drink and was wearing denim and leather.
One of the most endearing things about Gaga is that she has a genuine social conscience, like teaming up with Cyndi Lauper to promote AIDS awareness.
We run into each other at gay clubs a lot. Well, we have a common friend. We do. I was terrified because, you know, it's Cyndi Lauper, so I was very... we were at the local awards, the local network in America, It's a gay, lesbian, bi, and transgendered sort of TV network that was having an awards show, and Cindy was there, and it was my first TV performance, and I was walking down the hallway, and I saw her, and she's like, "I love your outfit." I have really, really enjoyed playing here in London and looking out into a full arena of all those beautiful faces has reminded me why I want to protect my fans so much and why it's important to be a role model. And being here with Cindy and speaking about the Not Gay Stunt, about AIDS awareness, it reminds me that all those beautiful young people that are going out and they might not be confident, they might have some insecurities, it reminds me that I want to be a role model for them, and I'm very honored to be here with Cindy.
She uses her fame for good. She is a real philanthropist. Very caring, very loving person. When the Haiti tragedy happened, she put on a concert at Radio Music City Hall in New York that raised lots of money for the charity. Then again, when the Japan earthquake happened, she came out with a bracelet and all her little monsters picked up on it. And through that, she helped raise something like £1.5 million for the charity.
We designed these We Pray for Japan bracelets the day the disaster occurred, and we've raised millions of dollars already for tsunami relief. I believe in the power of music to change people's lives, not necessarily my music, but music in general. And I want to do everything that I can to mobilize the youth to be aware of what's going on worldwide and help one another.
The point is, she wants to actively use her position as a pop star to try and help change the world.
I believe very much in charity and in fighting for good causes. I went to Catholic school growing up, and we did lots of community service, so it's something that I really enjoy doing.
Lady Gaga is quite simply the woman of the moment. There is no one to touch her in terms of global fame. And the more we hear about her, the more appealing she becomes.
Lady Gaga is undoubtedly now the biggest pop star in the world. She's bigger than Madonna now, who was one of her inspirations, but she's also bigger than all of the huge young pop stars, bigger than Justin Bieber, bigger than Rihanna, bigger than Katy Perry. She is uber famous all around the world.
There's no one else quite like Lady Gaga in the world right now. How long will it last, though? How many meat dresses are there going to be? How many wacky hats can she wear? How long can she ride this wave with her little monsters? I don't know. I'm hoping for a long time because I love her and I love her music, but we'll have to wait and see.
Forbes magazine comes out with a list all the time of the most powerful, influential people in pop culture. And Lady Gaga's come out as like either #1 or in the top 5 very recently. You cannot underestimate the power of Lady Gaga at the moment. You know, like her or hate her, be disturbed by her or adore her, admire her, you can't disregard the fact that she's making an awful big splash.
Lady Gaga, without doubt, is the most famous entertainer in the world. She has incredible power. How has she done that? She's done that by being different. And I think what's so important about the Gaga movement is she has tapped into that whole idea, and she obviously dubs her fans her little monsters, and she's tapped into that whole idea of embracing your inner freak.
The music she comes out with is very unique. When you turn on the radio and you hear a song, you'll instantly know it's a Lady Gaga song. She does great pop music that gets inside your head, and you don't forget it.
The goal now is to remain relevant and remain memorable and stay prolific for a long period of time. To change the landscape of what music is, of what fashion is, to keep the two in line with one another. The goal has never been to be famous. My goal has been to be a star.